All right, the entity that's engaged in state surveillance is again flying over by helicopter, engaging in the criminal elements of monitoring with the people of the state, inherently engaged in violating federal policy systematically while engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring and federal stalking on the venue of the internet. This is P.O.C. All right? It's 10:34 in the morning. That's LAPD. That's the state of California. That's Crossing Path. That's P.O.C. with the people. That's the entity acting together. That's a demon crossing path. That's Carla Lopez engaged in federal stalking, violating federal policy, existing federal policies regarding privacy policies, monitoring with the state. All right, and they're monitoring on the venue of the internet right now. And Carla Lopez is openly engaging in what is criminal monitoring, going to federal prison, representing speaker companies. His vehicle is light activity, while the entity is monitoring what I'm doing on the computer inside of the office. While they're engaging in the elements of monitoring, which I've been exposing and documenting, they're inherently engaged in violation of federal policy. This is a demon that paced out of the building in order to cross paths with LAPD, uses his vehicle as lights, and walks back. This is a demon that's pacing. Monitoring with this one. Operation of a communication device. This is federal stalking conduct. This is the entity that's flying in front of my apartment for 47 minutes. The entity that's engaged in criminal summoning, repeated kidnapping, engaging in what is the creation of information with the people of the state who are monitoring, flying in circles around the property, group stalking in plain sight. This is the same entity in violation of HUD housing, private federal policies, exposing what is supposedly private information while they're group stalking. And it includes the criminal conduct of LAPD, not only for criminal surveillance and federal stalking, but violating existing federal policy regarding the private information, the use of private information, the distribution of private information, not only of those that are group stalking who are inherently consenting to that, but you cannot consent to what is the criminal use by the entity that's engaged in the P.O.C. It is again currently 10:35 a.m. Is there something I can help you with? Did you need help?
Yeah.
You know there's no parking on the property.
Yeah, I know. We live right now.
Yeah, he's parked in a resident spot. I'm going to need you to move your car. You can park in, is there an open spot here? If not, you'll have to park off the property. But I know you were driving in when I was capturing footage of LAPD flying over, but I need you to move your car, please.
Okay.
Yeah, off the property. If there's an open spot right here, you can move there.
Over there?
Yeah, right behind that. He was monitoring with LAPD. Right, using his vehicle to drive onto the grounds. 9DMC 745. All right, and if not a natural born citizen, they're going to be deported out of here. And that was, again, concerted conduct. LAPD flying in circles around. They're engaged in real-time distribution of all the property and personal information, those coming in, submitting applications, those applications that are being processed, that supposed private information that the federal government mandates. There's a body of federal policies with regard to what the entity is doing while it's engaging in what is surveillance on this computer. On the phones, all of that information is inherently violated, okay? And this is a matter of documentation that speaker companies is directly engaging in, okay? In concert with the state, that's what the LAPD represents. And as I walk outside, you're looking at what is speaker companies, that is Carla Lopez, directly engaging in what is the threat to your life, group stalking in plain sight, while they're also posing an impermissible threat, knowledgeable of the fact that they're also being documented. This is where the so-called sun is rising and setting. This is where the entity is surrounding me with engineered light inside of my private space and inside of my workspace. They're acting in concert with the entity that sends me emails and calls inside of my office, in concert with that same entity that engages in terrorism via helicopter. This is in conformity to a well-documented pattern of conduct as well. The communities where I've been at outside of LA engaging in the same pattern in concert with a corrupt entity that is stalking by helicopters. That ongoing pattern of conduct in a specific environment, which is in no way shared with my location in LA. That's speaking to what is the state system. And this is blowing the whistle on what is an ongoing additional grounds of prosecution. That's civil and criminal prosecution of these police department, the state. Okay, and that is inherent violation of existing federal laws. And I've uploaded that to the Google Drive because there is a body of evidence that the federal government is aware of. Understand that this is relevant to what is the violation of private information that speaker companies and the people of the state, including these corrupt law enforcement agencies. You're talking about the companies that are coming onto the ground, Universal Waste, Nova Contractors. They're all of them that are engaging in what is state surveillance together. They are violating the HUD housing, the United States Department of Housing. They have federal privacy policies that are being violated. While the entity is doing laps around my office, they're engaged in federal stalking on the venue of the internet, and they are violating those federal policies. And a sample of those I will upload. This is additional grounds for what is the revocation of the licensure of Todd Speaker. He is working under a license, any and all of those. You're talking about the ability to revoke licenses, prevent the ability to gain a license when your real property, when your property management company is engaged in what is criminal facilitation in the way that Speaker Companies is, in the way that Todd Speaker is. His company, his real property, his employees. In addition to that, you're talking about that property management company, which has a lot of properties in California. They're engaged in what is violating the privacy policies that are governed by the federal government. Okay. And this is while they're engaged in state surveillance with the people of the state. It is again 10:39 a.m. This is a threat to my life while the entity is coming in, monitoring with LAPD, who's doing laps around my office as I'm documenting them on the video of the internet. Come in. This is P.O.C. Hi, how can I help you?
Good morning.